Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to talk about inputting custom temperature and precip data into SHSAM. As you can see, for temperature and precip, there are drop-down menus where you can select existing data that's already loaded into SHSAM. But unfortunately, this data, it covers most of the country, or a lot of the country, but there are pockets of the country where this data probably isn't the best. So, let's say that you're in an area where you're just far away from any of these sites, you're going to need to input custom data for both temperature and precip. So what I recommend doing is hitting Help on either of these tabs, and you can see kind of instructions on how the data needs to be formatted. For the temperature data, it's daily temperature data. So it's just one temperature reading for the entire day. And then for weather station precip, it's a little bit more complicated. It's every 15 minutes, and the data is recorded in hundredths of an inch. So where do you get this data? Where I like to go is I like to go into Google and I type in NCDC NOAA, type that in. The first link that pops up is National Climatic Data Center, NCDC. And I don't click on this first link. What I do is I click on Climate Data Online, CDO. That's what you want to click. Click on that, and they have this really cool interface that was just updated in the last few months. And go to Map Search, go to Map Application. It's kind of loading up this application here. And if you, depending on what you want, let's say that I want precip data. And in this nice little interface, you can drag this box around, and I decided that I want 15-minute precip because that's what SHSAM has. I'll kind of zoom in and find an area where I want that data. Okay, so zooming in, and I can see from this little key here that the 15-minute precip data is in the blue circles. These blue circles are the correct data. Keep zooming in. Let's say that I want data from kind of the Milwaukee area. Okay, so I see a couple of blue dots down here. And program's kind of loading up. Here we go. Okay. So let me click this tool, and this is the Select by Rectangle tool. And here is the data that we want. So this is in Milwaukee, or just outside of Milwaukee, not too far away. And the data is from 1994, and it goes all the way through 2012. 15-minute precip data. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I like that, and I'm going to get the selected data. I can say that I want it as a CSV file, and then I select the range in which I want the data. So I want it from September 1994. I want all of this data. So I just see how far I can push this. And okay, so I want from that range. Hit continue. All of this data is free. I like to include data flags, section name, geographic location. This is just going to populate your CSV file with more kind of descriptor information, metadata. Alright, I want both of those. And continue. Enter your email address here. Verify it. Okay. submit your order, and NOAA will email you that data in a few minutes. It's a pretty quick turnaround. So you can do this with precip data, you can do this with temperature data, and once it's downloaded, once it's emailed to you, it's not going to be in the correct format. You're going to have to manipulate that data into the format that SHSAM wants. And the data it's going to come kind of like this, but not exactly. And what I recommend doing is, once you selected a site and you've downloaded the data, what I recommend doing is contacting us at Upstream Technologies, and we put together a couple of Excel spreadsheets that can take the NCDC data and kind of manipulate it into the format that's needed quickly and easily. So what you can do, if you get to that point, is go to revolutionarybaffle.com. That's the Upstream Technologies website, and just hit contact us, write us a short little message, say, hey, I have some custom precip data that I want to use, or custom temperature files. Can you manipulate this data for me? And we'll be glad to do that.